This video is sponsored by Bulletproof Fitness. Bulletproof Fitness has one-on-one sessions for $55 an hour and also bootcamp sessions for $10 a session. Please contact Marty Girls with the number below if interested. What's good? What's good? It's your boy Big Chris from Underdog of the World podcast, y'all. And today we got your boy Jalen Bias.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What's good, bro? Thanks for coming on the show, man. Welcome to Underdog of the World podcast, bro.
Nice to be here. I like the underdogs. The underdogs feel good over here.
So, we're gonna go way back.
Okay.
So we're gonna start out. We want to, everybody to get to know who Jalen Bias really is.
All right.
So, man, where'd you grow up at, man?
Man, I grew up in Ballard County, man. Sticks.
You was a bomber, bro.
I was a bomber, man. I was a Ballard bomber. It's weird to say I even said that in so long.
Yeah. See, I ain't know if you was originally from Paducah and then moved down there Dries and Nathan and all them. They was
They was the track stars. I was the main black dude until they moved.
They took your spot.
They took my spot. I was not. They was like, we thought he was good, huh?
Man, you know how some movies, the two black dudes be fighting over the
white spot. It was like one white spot, man.
Can't be more than one. You gotta be
more than one.
One token nigga.
Yeah. Facts.
But anyway, though, bro. So what was it like growing up down there in Ballard, man? Being mostly dominantly white town. How was that?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't know I was black until high school. That's where I was like, oh, I'm colored. I didn't know. Because somebody else called me that. I was like, who's that colored boy? I was like, I think I'm colored. I was looking for the colored boy, too. I was like, where the colored boy is?
Where
So everybody was looking at me. I was like, oh, okay, I see what's happening. But it was it was fun. It was fun, and I didn't really notice anything different until I got older. And now I was like, oh, that's why this was happening. That's why, but I got a lot of friends there that, that are like my brothers still, and I liked it too because it taught me how to what they call code switching.
Yeah.
I can code switch naturally, so I could be in a room full of white. It works in comedy.
White people, black people, all that. Yeah. And that's very important to be a diverse comedian, be able to get in front of all type of audiences and do your thing. You feel me? So that's good. So I guess that's one thing you took away from living in Ballard.
That's one of the good things. It's like I can perform anywhere. It's like because Ballard, my whole high school in Ballard was spent around white people. But then after I graduated, I moved to Paducah. So literally my second half of my life was spent in Paducah around black people. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So then I realized that I was prejudiced against black people too. Like I'll be going to barbershops, I'll be uncomfortable and shit. I was like, oh, you black people are here. They be looking at me like, who is this? So
I think that's just kind of like, I get what you're saying. Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah. It could be that way. I mean, it's a different vibe between, being around white people and black people. It's a whole different vibe.
It's a whole different vibe. But I got more comfortable hanging around my people than I did around.
I got you.
Because I always felt like I was left. I always felt like I was the spotlight in the room. You know what I'm saying?
So was you always a class clown and stuff like that?
Yes. I wish I wasn't. Because that's so I guess that's so common among comedians. But for me, it was just like I had ADHD. And my teacher was like, he has ADHD, ADD. I think you should get him medicated. My dad was like, nah, I'm just gonna get in that ass. Like I'm just going. I got medicine for him. I got this bill. So I would get whoopings all the time. And the funny thing is, my mom was like, you never got whoopings because you was bad. You got whoopings because you talk too much. You always had to have the last word.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and I remember one time I got my report card. I had all F's, 2 D's. But I got at the end they give you a perfect attendance award, and all them awards and stuff. best grades, highest GPA. I got the class clown award. Like they made one for me. And I was like, Mom, look, I got the. Man, she was like, so all you did was go to school and show your ass. So you a clown. Is that what you proud to be? And I was proud when I walked in, but now I feel bad. So, yeah, I guess you could say I was definitely the class clown.
Okay. So after you graduated, you said you moved to Paducah. How long was you down here until you moved to
Atlanta?
Atlanta, yeah.
I would say from 19 to 26. 19 to 26? 25.
Okay. Got you. Then when did you get into stand up? When you start want to do that?
Okay, so I was working part-time at the city, right? And hey, if you try to get a job at the city, I'm just gonna give you some advice. If they hire you as a part-timer, they are tricking you into working harder for a full-time position. So I was cutting my brakes off, just weeding. I was used to weeding at that cemetery, just going crazy. They're like, "You gonna take a break?" Trying to get a job. Man, so it gets to like the end of the season. It's like the fall, everything's slowing down, and they just like, "Thank you, Jalen, for helping us." I'm like, I'm about to get hired now, They're like, "So we're gonna let you go." I'm like, "Let me go? I did everything I did." They're like, "We let you go." So, but like the week before that, I was talking to one of my best friends, Don. And I was like, "Man, I need to figure out what I'm gonna do with my life. Like, I need to figure out what to do." And he's like, what are you good at? And I was like, I want to be a motivational speaker. He was like, what? And I was like, yeah, I want. Yeah, the first thing was not comedian. The first thing was
motivational speaker.
Yeah, but then I realized you had to actually accomplish something. And I was like, I ain't got no accomplishments. I ain't did. Yeah. Who am I gonna motivate? Like, my mom worked at Paducah Middle School. I was like, Mom, I need you to go set up like an assembly. I'm gonna come out there and speak to the kids. And she was looking at me like I was an idiot.
Like, what you gonna tell them to do?
I'm telling them to keep going. With what? Oh man. So I was like, I'm cross that off. Talking to Don again. He's like, so what are you good at? I was like, I guess making people laugh, man. I'm funny. And he was like, do stand-up comedy. And I was like, stand-up comedy? Like, I didn't even know where to do stand-up comedy. I didn't know, like, where it was at. I didn't even know Paducah had
stand-up. Yeah, I didn't either, man.
Right.
Until y'all started doing it down, I guess what y'all doing it downtown?
Yeah.
I had no idea. Bro, thing down here, bro.
I didn't even know it existed. He was like, well, go home. Write down some stories, write down some jokes, and come stand with me tomorrow. So I went home, I wrote down some jokes, and then I wrote down some stories that happened to me, and then I wrote down a 5-year plan. And in the 5-year plan, I was like, okay, so my first year, I'm gonna try to get on stage, like doing open mics, try to find them and whatnot. And then the second year, I want to be able to like do comedy clubs or do shows and and I was like, the third year I want to get paid, and then the fourth year I want to like do a competition or something like that, and then the fifth year move to Atlanta, and that's when I was like 20, I think I was 24, 25, and I go tell him my jokes and stuff. He helps me out, and he's like, bro, you gotta find a place to do it. So I remember I had a friend that performed at Paducah Beer Works. He was like in a band. And I was like, hey man, where can you like do stand up at, like an open mic or anything? Cause I like looked on the internet, I was researching. They was like, you can do open mics anywhere. All you need is a mic. You can do open mics if it's a poetry show. You can say jokes. Like I'm just hearing all these stories that comedians had. Like when they first started, they were like, they just needed a mic. So I was like, all I need is a mic. So he was like, I don't know, man, but I do know a comedian, and his name was Jesse Barfield.
Okay.
And he was a stand-up comedian. I messaged him, and he was like, "Oh, go to this place called Etc." And that was downtown Paducah. It's a coffee shop.
So in a coffee shop that does stand-up comedy.
Well, they did
open mic night.
They just did open mic nights.
Gotcha.
And when I got there, I realized that I was the only comedian there. It was poets and singers, and that's basically what it was. So I go do stand up. My friend comes with me, Don, and I killed it. Like
your first time going up there, you killed it like that.
Crushed.
Have you ever bombed?
Now hold on, we getting there. We are getting there. Okay. So at this point, I'm thinking I'm Kevin Hart. Like, they just gotta find me at this point. Like, you know, some people are born with it, and some people are not. I'm the dude that's born with it. Right. It's me. You know, I'm him, Chris Rock, Dave Chappelle, Chris Tucker. It's me. I'm blessed. What can I say? So I went home smiling, just cheesing. I'm looking at my bed. I was like, can't.
Okay, so you're traveling, you're going all these places and you're booking shows, you're getting paid now. So when did Atlanta come in the picture? When did you say, hey, I'm going to go to Atlanta?
It's crazy. How did it
happen?
Atlanta never came into the picture. Really? It was Nashville. Because that's where I was getting my connections at. Like,
got you, Nashville.
I started throwing shows in Paducah, and what I would do is I would see a comedian that I liked in Nashville. Okay. And I would be like, hey, bro, I want you to come to Paducah and do a show. And they hit me with their fee. I would pay for their hotel, and I would pay them before they even perform. Like, as soon as they see me that night, I would pay them. And the show would be packed, kill it. And then I know that I have a favor in my pocket. So if I come to Nashville and I need something, they're going to put me on stage. That's how I would do that. So you make a lot of friendships in comedy when you're getting other people work and you're doing that when you first meet them. Like, instead of asking, hey man, can I get a spot on here? No, don't do that. Throw your own show, invite them to it, and then ask after that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
I was always told that before you ask for a favor, you should already have done 5 things for the person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I ain't never thought about it like that. That's yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, and then they also know that you're serious, you know. So I didn't mind doing that, you know. So a lot of times what I did was I used my work money to pay for everything, and then whatever I made that night, I would put it back in my pocket. So the whole goal was for me to move to Nashville because that's where I had all my connections at out of the 3 years of me doing stand-up. So I ended up telling my job that, hey, I'm about to move. Where you going? Nashville. You know what I'm saying? They're like, think I'm stupid because that's like a career type of job. That's like a job that you're supposed to retire at. That's the way they look at it. But to me, when I was working, I looked at the oldest person and then I looked at the youngest person. And I'm like, well, I started out in his position, and now if I keep going, I'm just going to be him. And that old guy is bitter, mad, peed off, right. You know. And I'm like, I don't want to be that.
Exactly. Mad at the world. Probably didn't take, take a leap of faith and go chase his dream if he dream. That's one thing, that I'm starting to realize. You know, I'm tired of this, working a job and just to work a job just to pay the bills. Mm-hmm. I want a career. Do something I love to do. So, man, applaud you for doing what you love to do, bro.
I appreciate it. And, I would talk to those old guys, too. I would ask them, like, do you regret anything? Like, and they would say a lot of things. Their first wife. A lot of them would say their first wife. So that just taught me that I just need to be career driven. Not to say that anybody's making a bad decision. I just knew that who I am and where my discipline lies is out. It's within me and myself. Right. It's hard for me to put myself first if I'm in a relationship. Some people can do it. I cannot. I'm like one or the other. I'll put everything into this girl and I'll stop putting things into myself. And that's not healthy. So I would rather just put things into me. And so I told him, well, I'm quitting. I'm leaving, put my 2 weeks in, and it got up to, I was supposed to quit in the last week of December. And at that point, it was still Nashville. I had put my 2 weeks in and everything. It wasn't until January where I was like, I'm not moving to Nashville. It don't feel right. Like, it just don't feel like I'm supposed to be there. So I think I'm supposed to be in Atlanta. So after I packed up everything, I see like a journal that I had. I had a paper in there. And I see that 5-year plan that I wrote 5 years ago or 4 years ago. And it said Atlanta on there. And I was like, what? What the heck?
How ironic, man.
Because I completely forgot about it, you know? So, yeah, I ended up packing everything and moved to Atlanta.
So, did you stay with somebody, get you an apartment?
Yeah, I had a roommate.
Had a roommate?
I had a roommate, yeah.
Gotcha. So, what was the comedy scene up like there in Atlanta? Like, how different was it? Like, little old Paducah, and then going to some place like Atlanta where like a lot of comedians come from.
Right. Now this is the thing that a lot of people don't know. It's different. Like, not just bigger city. No, the expectation. Because I didn't realize this until I came here to visit my family and did some stand-up here. I haven't done stand-up here in like 5 years. What I learned was that here, you get laughs. You're gonna get laughs. People are going, oh my God, you're amazing, right? Because that's the first time they seen stand-up live.
Yeah.
So it's a whole experience. You know what I'm saying? There, they see it all the time, and they see some of the best. I'm talking about there's Atlanta favorites. You know, Carlos Miller. Like, you know, he ran Atlanta, man, in stand-up. Like, DC Young Fly, bro. I'm not talking about them doing arenas. I'm talking about them in coffee shops.
Really?
Killing.
Did you meet them?
I met Clayton English. He's also on the 85 South show team. And I met K-Dub, who's huge comedian out there. Desi Banks.
You met Desi?
Met Desi.
Okay.
This guy named Alton Walker's hilarious. My boy Daniel Delano's hilarious. But yeah, it's good comedians out there, and they have made it. But there's other comedians who are just as good who hasn't made it. So they're out every night. So when you come up there with your little Kentucky jokes, thinking you about to murder, because that's what I was on. I was like, let me go down here and show them what Kentucky is about. Right. Let me go down here. I'm gonna put my foot in their ass for about 15 minutes. And you know what happened? I died a great death. I did not only die one.
Did you bomb that too?
Oh, I bombed.
Man, bro, I couldn't imagine.
Oh,
I couldn't imagine get on the stage and.
Oh, it still hurt.
Man, I know, bro.
Man, I bombed every night for a month straight.
Hey, man, you know you bombed. The most important part is you kept going and kept chasing that dream, bro. Yeah. And you know what I'm saying?
I bombed.
And got better over time, but that's the most important part, bro. Like,
I bombed so bad that they started playing church music. I'm telling you, I bombed, and they got me off the stage, and the DJ started playing "Never Would Have Made It."
Oh man,
I never hear the song the same. Like, I used to think about Jesus when I heard that song. Now I think about just black people looking at me like every time I hear that song now.
So when did it get better for you? When you started getting live and people started respecting you up there?
I'm not gonna lie. When that happened, I started going to a lot of white rooms because I was just like, you know what? Let me just work myself up. I'm used to doing white crowds, so let me bomb with the white people. You know,
it hurts less, huh?
It did hurt less. I was just like, they just don't know the black struggle. You know, even though I was telling white jokes, they still didn't. They just did not care. But I started getting a little bit better, you know. not good enough to like chill at the black rooms, but I was doing good, but it was inconsistent. I would do good, bad, good, bad, good, bad. But it was like, okay, I'm starting to, but I was still, man. I'm telling you, like my anxiety was rampant. My like chest
Imagine, bro.
pumping. Yeah, so I ended up getting a job at a comedy club, Atlanta Comedy Theater. And I got that job so I can get more stage time. And I was working. I was like, man, when am I going to get on stage? It's been like 4 weeks. When am I going to get on stage? Finally, I got to get on stage. I bombed.
Again, bomb again.
Yeah, but it's different because when you bomb at other places,
Yeah.
you're just known as a comedian that bombed that night. But when you bomb at Atlanta Comedy Theater and you work there, you bombed at your job. Like, you bombed in front of coworkers. Like, the manager came out after I got on stage and said, yeah, you need to stay in the kitchen.
Man, what did you do to get better, man? Like, did you
just kept
going? Did you like practice writing your jokes?
I realized that my nerves was the thing that was making me bad. It was like you know how this is. This is comfortable.
Yeah.
When I'm on stage, it wasn't like that. So it's like I need to be on stage so much to where I can get comfortable to where I'm not. Because the thing that people were saying was, it looks like you're scared. You look like, and if an audience member who doesn't see comedy or doesn't do comedy thinks you look scared, you look scared. You don't look confident. Thing is about comedy, it's like a magician. You know what I'm saying? That's like a magician pulling out his cards and dropping them on the ground.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, confidence was one of the main things I had to get.
So how long was you in it? How long have you been in Atlanta?
3.5 years.
Okay. I was looking at one of your clips on Instagram or Facebook, one of the two.
Yeah.
And you talk about you was at a fair. And
okay, yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that.
That story?
That story, man. I want to hear that story, man.
Okay, so I was at this fair, and this was actually in Paducah.
It was in Paducah, okay.
I was at this fair, and I'm with my friend. We're walking. Guy bumps into me, you know. And I'm at the point where I'm like, I'm gonna at least say something. Like, I had no intentions to fight. But I was gonna be like, hey man, watch where you going. You know what I'm saying? But he was ready to fight. I didn't know that before, or I wouldn't even say that. I would just let him disrespect me just so I could go home happy. You know what I'm saying? So, man, he was like one of those like working out type, you know, testosterone type dude. Yeah. So I'm like still bluffing, and as soon as I turn around, he hit me right in my face. So I'm waiting for my friend to jump in.
It happened for real?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. And I'm waiting for my friend to jump in, and he did. And he was looking at me like, I was like, he just hit your friend, bro. Like, you gonna stand up for your friend? He's like, you gonna stand up for yourself? Well, no, I'm not gonna do that. That hit hurt. So yeah, I grabbed the trash can, I threw it, and then the fair people came around and they was like, hey, pick that trash can up. So I had to go and pick the trash can. Yeah, man, that was embarrassing, man. That was like before I I used to be like a pushover, but like later on, like I got rid of all that stuff. Like,
Yeah.
But yeah.
So who would be your Mount Rushmore of comedians?
Ooh.
I know how to ask that question. Mount Rushmore question.
Yeah. I don't want to be like do the typical answers that everybody does, but if I was doing the typical answers, I would say Richard Pryor, Bernie Mac, Chris Rock, Louis C.K., and Kevin Hart.
I agree with that list for
And
sure.
a lot of people think that they're played out and they're funny. That's just because you see them a lot. Like when you see someone a lot, it takes the surprise factor away. Like for Kevin Hart and Chris Rock.
Right.
But when you see their first stuff, everybody laughs at that. Like everybody laughs at Laugh at My Pain. Everybody laughs at Grown Little Man. There's not one person that thinks Grown Little Man is not funny.
Oh, hilarious! Bro.
It's hilarious. And Bigger and Blacker. There's not one person that can watch Bigger and Blacker and hear the joke. That's the difference between niggas and black people. Like that was like 20 years ago, and people still say that.
And it's still funny, bro,
right?
To this day. So like, was you big on watching stand-up comedy as growing up?
No.
You wasn't?
No. I grew up in a Christian household. I wasn't allowed to watch anything with cussing or anything. But my parents were like, my dad was always gone because he was a truck driver.
Gotcha.
So my mom would be like basically kind of like the head of the household while he was gone. So everything she said went, you know.
Right.
So, but my mom, she liked stand up. But she wouldn't let me watch it. She would wait until we had to go to sleep to watch all the stuff that we couldn't watch. Like, I didn't watch. I didn't see Friday until I was in high school. I didn't see none of that stuff.
That's crazy because that's crazy. I started watching Friday, like the 5th grade.
Oh, for real.
I had like my mom's friend had a bunch of old movies, and I'm a movie person. I love movies.
Yeah.
And I always wanted to watch that movie. Like I watched it a little bit. I was a kid, like nothing like on BET, BET version. You know?
Right.
So like no cussing. When I watched it for the first time, man, I just started just like repeating. I started cussing like a mug.
Right. Yeah, me too.
I started cussing, and I would go to school. Matter of fact, me and Don used to be real good friends when we was
for
kids.
real, yeah.
Bro. We was like one of my best friends growing up as a kid.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, but we always would go to school, and I would repeat. Friday we repeat Friday jokes all over and over again. The Ezel part, and we stayed repeating it over and over again. It was that year because I had just watched it for the first time. Actually, really watched it. So, you know what I'm saying? That's when I started liking that. But go ahead and finish what you were saying, bro. My bad.
Oh no, you good. So one night it was like we're supposed to be in bed probably like 9:30. My mom was watching Cat Williams.
Oh man.
That was the one where he got the green on. I think that's Pimpin'.
Yeah,
I think it's Pimpin'. Pimp Chronicles.
Pimp Chronicles, okay.
Pimp Chronicles. And let me tell you something. I'm like, I hear like this little voice like, who is that? Like, so I'll crack my door and see, black moms ain't gotta hear you. They can feel that you up. You know what I'm saying? A black mom can feel your presence that you up past your bedtime. So I sneak out the hallway. I'm tiptoeing. And I'm hearing it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm hearing it. And I hear this joke about, what did he say? He said something about the little Mexican girl. She said something about the little Mexican girl. He's like, Mexicans, he said a Mexican daughter would have a wedding dress on and some soccer shoes. He said, bitch, where is you going? And I started giggling. My mom was like, go to bed. Go to bed. And I went back in there, went to bed, but I never forgot it. And it wasn't until years later where I think I was scrolling through TV and I seen that same special. And I was like, this is that thing my mom was watching like 4 years ago. So I'm telling you, tears was coming down. And I think I was like 13 at the time I think I was 15 at the time I actually watched it.
Right.
15 or 14. When my mom was watching it, I think it was like 10, 11. And so when I seen it, I never forgot about it. So when I finally seen it, I'm telling you, tears.
I'm surprised they didn't give you the bug right then.
Huh?
I'm surprised they didn't give you the bug right then.
I think it was in my subconscious. Like,
yeah.
Because I still didn't know what stand-up comedy was. I just knew Cat Williams. That was the only stand-up comedian that I knew. Like, we go to school, we talk about Cat Williams. Like, it was just, there was no other comedian but Cat Williams. Like, we didn't know Chris Tucker was not a comedian; he was an actor to us. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was just Cat Williams.
Hey, Chris Tucker's like his old stuff, stand-up stuff is like hilarious, man. Talk about Michael Jackson, Michael Jackson and stuff. Bro, I was watching that recently, and I knew he was a comedian,
Right?
but I never seen his stand-up. I watched it. I was cracking up.
Hilarious, man.
I know we had one on Netflix in like 2017. I watched the clips of that. That was pretty good.
Yeah. It wasn't him like hungry.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah.
That was the successful Chris. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I didn't start watching stand up for real until 2012.
Okay.
And I was still in school, and it was just on Netflix was like became a real thing. Netflix. So I'm watching Netflix. I see Kevin Hart on there. I thought, wow, who is this? Man, I'm telling you, hilarious. I was like, this is funny. I was like, what is it, like stand up? Like what? So I started like checking out like little stand ups, and then that's when it hit me. But I never thought I could do it. You know what I'm saying? I just started being funnier around people. And I remember I went to this like girl's birthday party, and her dad was like, and this was a long time ago. This was probably like 10 years ago. And her dad was like, you need to be a stand-up comedian. And I was like, I want to be a motivational speaker. Cause I don't know for some.
Man, what was up? Why did you want to be a motivational speaker? Like,
I don't know.
Nobody wants to be a motivational speaker, bro.
I don't know. I think it's because my dad was a preacher. My dad was a preacher, so when he died, everybody was like, he passed it on to you, like speaking, like so. But I didn't want to go to church. Like I hated church, so I was like, I'm supposed to be like, I don't want to be a pastor, but I want to be a motivational. I can do motivational speaking.
Yeah, man, I'm sorry to hear about your dad.
Oh no, it's cool.
When he passed,
my dad died when I was 15. Car accident. Yeah,
man, bro.
Yeah.
I lost my dad too, bro. I was 22 though.
Man, that's tough.
Yeah, like I had just were the point where I feel like I needed my dad. You know what I'm saying? He passed away.
Right.
I was actually getting ready to move down to Texas with my dad.
Oh.
I was getting ready. I was filling the application out for a job down there, and then I get a phone call from one of my older cousins telling me my dad passed away. I thought like, how ironic. I'm serious filling the application out. And I had tried to call him text him earlier that day to ask him what his address was.
Right.
And he could have been dead. I didn't know. It's crazy. Yeah, but yeah. So.
I'm sorry to hear that too, man. I didn't realize like you said, like that's the time where you really needed your dad, or feel like you need to talk to him.
Yeah.
I felt the same way, but when he died, it never even hit me for real. Like I just like, this is weird. Like I remember I was in 5th grade. I remember a girl's had a parent that died, and I was like, before that happened, I didn't know parents could die. Like I didn't know you could lose your parents until you was an adult. Like I did not, like some things happen. It just expands your mind. You just like,
you don't really think about it when you were a kid,
right?
Like, especially when you never experienced that,
right? You just so when it happened to me, I was just like, I was just so shocked that I don't have a dad no more. Like I was more confused than sad. At that point, I was more confused than sad. And it wasn't until I graduated where it like hit me because it's just like, oh, he's not gonna be here for this moment. He ain't gonna be here for when I get married. He ain't gonna be here for like, you know what I'm saying? And I can't call him and ask him for it. Now I had a stepdad, but still like, even though he helped me with everything he could, that was like, he was like a dad to me, I always say that my dad, when I looked at my real dad, I seen what hard work was. But my stepdad taught me how to work hard. You know what I'm saying? Because here's the thing, my dad was a truck driver. But in the summertime, I will earn my school money from working with him. So
you going to roll with him?
I go and roll with him. And he would unload tires at a discount store. Like, discount tires?
Yeah.
So it's like in the South. So he would unload tires. Nobody else would. I talked to the workers, at the stores, they'd be like, "Oh, he's the only one that does this because he wants to get back home fast." And I was like, "What?" Like, so I'm helping him. You know what I'm saying? Chucking him. Missing my I was mama's boy. Like, as soon as I got back home, I ran out, hugged my mom, because we be gone for the whole week on the road. Like, I got so many memories of just waking up, seeing like the street lights of you going into a major city. And then, like, my dad just sitting there eating sunflower seeds. You know what I'm saying? You just want to stay woke.
Yeah, that's good that you got, you know what I'm saying, you got memories.
Yeah.
So like what your dad like at, man. So that's good, bro.
I guess, like, it, like, woke this bug up in me, like, a responsibility, because he would pay me, like a real job. Like, pay me my cash money. He's like, all right, go buy your school clothes. Go buy your shoes. So I go buy school clothes, still have some money left. I'm like,
touch your work for your own money and be responsible.
Yeah, yeah. And I was like one of the only kids that really had money like that, you know what I'm saying? So I guess when he died, like my mom, like they was with each other since high school, bro. A long time. So my mom like didn't even like my mom was gone. Like I didn't even like see my mom. Like from like you talking about having the perfect family. Well, not perfect, but like looking back, it felt perfect.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Talking about my mom, my dad, and you know, we pretty much got anything we wanted to like he died and everything completely different. We don't go to dinners no more. All that stuff gone, and my mom's not even home no more. So it's just like from my whole high school career, I was raising myself. We had the house and everything, but I would raise myself. Like my mom moved to Paducah when my last year of high school.
So you was there at the house. You owned that house though, so y'all was...
No. I ended up moving with one of my friends that was a teacher.
Really? Okay.
She was a teacher, and her son was my friend. So I ended up moving with the app, bro. I was on my own, bro, from ninth to dang near now.
Yeah. So when you went, my bad was something. How did you? When did you exactly move to Paducah? Like, was it like right after high school?
Right after high school.
Okay.
Because I got a job at Walmart. And it was easier for me to. It was easier for me to go to work from Paducah than go to work from Ballard.
Yeah, that's understandable. So that's way out there, bro.
Right.
Yeah.
So I moved in with my mom. She was living in an apartment, and I was sleeping on the couch. And then I did that for maybe like a year and a half or so, and then me and my cousin moved in together. Amir.
I heard your cousin?
Yeah, my first cousin.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, my dad and his mom, my brother and sisters.
Okay.
Yeah.
I moved with Amir. I went to church with Amir.
Yeah.
With the kids and stuff. Did you play sports growing up?
Yes, I played football. I ran track. And when I was young, I played baseball, but I quit all of that by the time my sophomore year because I've never been a person who was just in the moment. I've never been one of those people. I'm an overthinker. I think like 5 years ahead, and it's not because somebody told me to do it. It's just anxiety. I cannot like if I go somewhere, I gotta know who's gonna be there, what's gonna happen. Like me doing stand up is like the first time I ever like not had as much control as I had. So I think that kind of helps me out a little bit. Like I walk into unexpected situations.
Yeah, but you controlling the conversation.
I'm controlling the conversation, but it's kind of like it's an art to just letting things flow sometimes. So that's one thing I learned. But when I quit all those sports, everybody just looked at me, oh, you quitting. My coach was like, you're a quitter. You want to be a quitter your whole life? I didn't look at it like that. I looked at it like, I'm not going to be able to go to a D1 school. I'm not going to be able to go to the NFL. It's not me being negative. It's just like, I go to Ballard, and I'm not the best. And this ain't being negative. It's like, I go to Ballard, and I'm not even the best player on my team.
It's being realistic.
Right. Yeah. So I was just like, I don't see it. I don't see it for myself. So why would I waste my time doing it in high school when I can't do it? Then if I can't be the best, I don't want to do it.
Yeah, I feel that though. You know, I quit too, but I quit football because I fell out of love with it because I was so used to being one of the best, hardest hitting people on the team, one of the best on the team. When I got to high school, it was just a culture shock.
Right.
Nobody told me it was so much more than making tackles and playing football. It's working out, working on your agility. You know what I'm saying? I had nobody around me. You know what I'm saying? Teaching me that stuff at that time though. So that's kind of why I kind of gave up on it though.
Right.
So, but anyway, man, I know you talked about high school, talked about you growing up.
Well, also my work ethic. My work ethic was trash in high school. Like I hated working out. I mean, I was naturally like cut and stuff, lean.
Yeah.
But I didn't even get that. I didn't get that work ethic until after I graduated. I started going to the gym and I got like obsessed. I like wanted to be a bodybuilder, and like I gained like, I'm telling you, this changed my life. Like, you want to know something that like night and day difference was working out. When I went to the gym, I was living with my mom. I didn't really have anything to do. And it was just like, I couldn't talk to no girls and bring them back to my mom's place.
Right.
So I was just like, what am I going to do? So I started working out. Started watching these YouTube videos and stuff. These bodybuilders, Chris Jones, Christian Guzman. I would always watch them. And I was like, I want to be a bodybuilder. You know what I'm saying? So I brought a whole bunch of protein. I'm working out. I'm working out 2 times a day. I go from 150, which is where I am now, like 155. I'll go from 155 to 185 pounds in a year.
It was muscle though.
Yeah, man, I got pictures around. Like I show people's pictures, they don't believe it. And I was so obsessed. I had my meals prepped out. I would bring my meals to work, eat it. I did not party, didn't talk to nobody. I was like a hermit. I remember one time it snowed, and I walked to the gym because I couldn't drive.
What gym was you going to?
That time, I got my best gains, but there was also beginner gains. I got my best gains at Snap Fitness.
Snap Fitness, okay.
And then I kind of became a monster at Genesis. Because I was seeing all them guys, and they was going. And that's when Genesis was in Lone Oak.
Yeah.
And that little...
yeah, it's cool. Good. I went to Genesis around that time.
Yeah, that was...
I worked out. Marty was my trainer. I was
yeah. That was the best Genesis.
Yeah, it was. Like, I like Genesis that way.
They should have stayed in that building.
Nah, they grew too much to stay in that building.
Man.
That building was kind of small.
Yeah, I loved it, though. I loved the vibe in there, and the music was so loud.
Yeah, great vibe in there, though, for real.
Man, I love that place, man. And then same thing happened. That happened in football. The same thing happened with bodybuilding. I was just like, I'm working this hard. I'm doing this in my early 20s. They're like, this is supposed to be the best years of my life. But I'm looking at people like Arnold Schwarzenegger who put that same amount of work in, and now they don't even have the body no more. Now, don't get me wrong. Arnold Schwarzenegger looks better than anybody else there at that age.
Oh, yeah.
But he doesn't look like he did when he was in his 20s.
Oh, no, you can't keep the same body structure.
Exactly.
All them years.
It's impossible, right?
Yeah.
And then I was thinking, like, me being as big as Arnold Schwarzenegger is like, I'm not saying it's impossible, but my body frame, I don't really see it happening. And I know a lot of, and that's another thing, I research bodybuilders, like Frank Zane. Now, Frank Zane is known in bodybuilding. Everybody knows who he is. But a regular person walking out, they only know who Arnold Schwarzenegger is. They wouldn't know who Frank Zane was. So that's a guy who has to tell people, oh, yeah, I just be a bodybuilder. And I didn't want that. I didn't want my work to go to nothing. I felt like my work would go to nothing. I felt like the sacrifices and all that stuff would go to nothing. So that's when comedy came around. And then I did the same thing. I ran the life scan on it. And I was like, hold up. Because you know how rapping is. Rapping is like, you can be a rapper, but if you don't make it by 30s, now you an old dude rapping. Like,
yeah, now it's just a hobby at this point.
Yeah. Even if you make it a little bit of money, they look at you like you're a failure. But comedy is like, the older you get, the better you get. You know what I'm saying?
Because you can always be talk and tell jokes. I mean,
no such thing as a too old comedian. Never heard that. And then I was like, okay, so the older I get, the better I get. There's no really time limit on it. And then when I started doing stand-up, I realized that there were so many different avenues. Like, when I started stand-up, I realized that there's comedians that you never heard of making $100,000 a year doing stand-up. And I was like, the way I looked at it was, I was like, all I need to make is like 60, 70. And I know if I can make 60, 70 a year just doing stand-up, I know I can make millions because that's only going to make me want to keep going even harder. And it's not really even about the money. It's just, I know I can be successful in it. You know, there's people who we never heard of that's successful in it. And then I heard about corporate. I said, if everything else fails, there's people like Coca-Cola, Apple, Google. There's companies have all this money that they save on their taxes by having these corporate gigs to where the workers could come and they could like relieve stress. And you know who they hire? Comedians, singers, all that stuff. And they make like 5, 6, 10, 12K a show. There's cruise ship comedians. Like, and that's a job. You go on there, live on the boat for a month. They bring you back to shore. You don't spend any money on the boat. They pay for your food. Make about 10, 12K from that.
So like I said, I didn't know it was all that stuff you can. I mean, I guess now I think about it. Yeah, you see cruise ships, like on cruises, you should have comedians and singers on there. Stuff like that, but I never thought about it like that. But man, okay. Your newest journey right now.
Oh yeah.
Your newest journey is you get ready to move to LA, right?
Yes. I'll be in LA May 11th, May 12th.
So what's the plan when you get there? What are you gonna do?
I'm planning when I get there. I have like an opportunity. I want to say it right now because I don't want to spoil it.
Got you.
Or like jinx it. But my goal is to just hit the stages. Also, I'm not just a comedian. I'm also a writer. So I have a movie that I'm writing right now. And then I have 2 pilots of TV shows. Okay. I've wrote the first season, wrote the first episode. And that's on ice until I get an opportunity to where I can pitch a script, because my goal is not just to become a stand-up comedian. I want to produce, I want to direct, and that's why I chose LA, because that's the best place for me to do that at, you know. I
agree, 110% agree.
Right, so to me, it's all about connections. Yes, I can get work in Atlanta. If I stayed there, I could have got work. I definitely believe that. But it's not as much as it is in LA, you know. Right. Even comedians that I watch, when they moved to LA, they started getting more work. It's how come they couldn't have got that? And it was just as big in North Carolina, but it's a phone call. It's easy for me to give somebody an opportunity when they're here in front of me than to call somebody, hey man, you trying to take a flight? I need you to take a flight this weekend for this. It's not going to happen like that.
Right.
So, so I got scripts on ice, just waiting for an opportunity to where I can pitch it, or even I can even use them as auditions, or the way it kind of goes in movies and TV shows is you write spec scripts, and that is kind of like your resume.
Right. Do you plan on trying to do any acting at all?
Yeah. I think I'm capable of doing all of that. Yeah.
I agree. That's dope though, bro. You know, I hope that you go up there and succeed, bro. You know what I'm saying? Put on for Paducah, bro.
Got to. I'm in too deep.
So are you going to stay with somebody, or you got your apartment?
Stay with somebody.
Okay.
Yeah. Stay with somebody and try to get my own place. Probably a year, maybe. Yeah.
So you're making enough money to, you know what I'm saying, you don't have to work right now.
No.
Oh, okay.
I mean, definitely not. I don't want you guys to think that everything's smooth sailing. I promise you, it is not. Right now, I came to Paducah for a little bit to just stack some money up, because it's just easier to do it in a small town. Small town. And I just know so many people. It's easy for me to get a cash job. And definitely don't make enough to just do it full time on my own. But when you move to places like Atlanta, places like LA, you're not moving to make money. You're moving for opportunity.
Right.
Like you guys like don't get that confused. Like unless you're like got Airbnbs or something like that, and if you're chasing a dream like where it's like acting or comedy or anything like that, don't move there expecting a cash like opportunity, like a cash, like you know what I'm saying. Like some opportunities ain't cash. Some opportunities are like favors. Some opportunities are, and you have to accept that. If you want to make money, you're better off. If you want to make money in the beginning, you're better off doing it in a small town.
I agree. See, one of my second interviews with this guy named Christopher Terrell, which he was in an R&B group in the '90s. He moved to New York,
Right.
and we was talking about how you know what I'm saying about how different it is today to go move to a bigger city,
Right.
and this on a dream with no money. You can't. It's hard to do that nowadays.
It's hard, but I always say this: the day you quit is the day you was not meant to do it. So as long as you don't quit, you keep going. I'm talking about like a lot of people think, oh, just because he hasn't quit, and he still didn't make it. A lot of people think that they're working hard. A lot of people are keeping up a facade that I'm doing this dream, I'm working hard towards it. We think that looking on the outside, but that person is just BSing around. Like, so we're like, oh, he tried and he didn't make it. You don't know what he was really doing. You don't know if he was really out there, you know, putting real effort in. Because I'm telling you, when you're putting, it does feel like a job. It's not, doing stand up on stage is fun, but everything else feels like a job. When you're actually working, it feels like a job.
So what is your writing process like?
Okay, I got two different processes. Like, you mean joke writing or like writing like a TV series?
Both. We'll start with the joke process. Then we'll go move to the writing process.
Okay, so my joke process, conversation.
Okay.
The best thing for me is kind of like talking with my friends. We'll come up with something, or somebody will say something funny. I'm like, I'm gonna write that down. I'll put it in my notes.
Yeah.
Because a real comedian is writing 24/7, where you could be at the grocery store like that. Why do people do this? Why everybody grab this cereal? Why is cereal in the bag now? Like, you know, and you'll go to a mic and you'll work on that. Okay. And then you'll make adjustments, add more punchlines to it, keep saying it, and then it'll go from being scattered to like coming together and being something you can, now you know it works every time.
Have you seen the new Chris Rock comedy on Netflix?
Yes.
Amazing, bro.
It's really good. It's really good. The live aspect of it, I think, kind of like, actually, I'll be honest with you, I think the Jada situation kind of ruined the importance of the special, because when you're watching it, when is he going to talk about Jada? When is he going to talk about Will Smith? When is he going to talk about, a lot of people are doing that.
Yeah, people been waiting for like a year for him to talk about it. Like this was the first time he said anything about it to anybody.
Right, and it's crazy because people are like, he needs to let this go. This is the first time he said something about this.
He's been holding it in for a whole entire year.
It's the first time he commented on it.
What if you was on stage, Jalen, and somebody came and slapped you on stage? What you gonna do? Would you do what he? Okay, you was on the Oscars, okay? Like,
I'm not doing what he did.
Are you like just walking away, making a joke, and keep going?
I'm not doing what he did.
That's professional, bro.
I'm not doing that.
What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna either smack him back, I'm gonna wait till he turn around and push him, or he smacked me, I'm gonna fall so hard and play possum. So he can really feel bad he just smacked me, and so everybody else can be like, I can't believe he hurt that man. And I'm never gonna go to
Chris Rock should have dropped to the floor, bro.
Yeah, he should have failed. He should have took that.
Went to sleep.
Let the mic hit his head and everything. Got that lawsuit. Got that money. And once the money came through, where the shade room says Chris Rock just received $20 million from Will Smith and did another $20 million from the Oscars.
Yeah.
That's why I'm dropping my special.
Hey, that'd be perfect.
Yeah, I played possum. Hey, guess what? Celebrity boxing match. I'm working out. I'm about to knock this nigga. And I'm gonna talk. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm doing.
Michael Blackson, he said, what did he say? He said, Will Smith will be going back to living with his auntie and uncle in Bel Air.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Slapped him.
He be broke. I got done with it. Yeah, for sure.
Man, that's crazy, man. I try to understand that. I know it's been a long time. People ain't talking about it much, but me, I haven't talked about it yet. To nobody about it.
Right.
So first time I'm actually talking to somebody.
About it,
man. To me, man, I wish he wouldn't have did buddy like that, man. That's embarrassing.
Right. It's embarrassing. It's gonna be on his life forever. Then people say that, he shouldn't have talked about his wife. Now, I understand.
I understand that too. Yeah.
I understand that, but you gotta realize that what person goes to the Oscar that's a comedian that hasn't roasted the audience?
That's their job.
Ricky Gervais has said out of pocket stuff. He didn't get smacked. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's been so many comedians that has done that didn't put their hands on somebody. Then you can say that, oh, he's targeting black women. He's doing all this. Chris Rock is one of the people that makes fun of literally every race, every gender. Now, some people will say, we got a lot of genders now. So he has made fun of he's made fun of every gender, every person, everything. So.
So have you met who Ryan Davis is?
Yes.
Have you met him at all? No.
Yes.
Seriously.
Yeah.
He's
I
pretty
met
funny.
him at Zany's. One of my comedy friends took me to a show, but he had performed right before. So I'm in the green room. I'm like, that's Ryan Davis.
Yeah.
So that's why I had my podcast, Los Brothers.
Okay.
And I had a hoodie. I gave it to him. And he wore it on one of his videos. And that was pretty cool. That was like before I moved.
That's dope though, man. I love his stand up. I like to see him in person one of these days.
Oh yeah, he's man. I met him again at Atlanta Comedy Theater. And I was like, hey man, what's up? And he's like, hey. I was like, Nashville. I forgot he tours all the time.
Yeah, he probably would have matched him 10 times.
Right, he didn't know who I was. But it was cool seeing him again, and seeing how his material developed. Because a lot of y'all don't know that these jokes, like when you say, oh, Kevin Hart's not as funny as his first special, he had 10 years to develop that first special. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like now it's like he's doing it in 2 years. It's different, He had so much life that he had lived to put that in that.
And plus, his life is different. Like he's a billionaire, a millionaire,
right?
And she has children. He's a father, man.
Right.
So,
and then people be like,
his stories are different, man. Like,
exactly. Then people be like, he shouldn't talk about his kids. Well, what else is he gonna talk about? He's a dad. Like people are just too sensitive.
That's what his everyday life is about. It revolves around all his children. And what he talks about, I mean, and it's still funny. You feel
to
me?
I'm not one of those people, man. I ain't no hater. If it's funny, then it's funny, man. It's funny. I think Mike Epps is one of my favorite comedians. Him and one of my favorite comedians now are Mike Epps and Louis C.K. Even though he's canceled.
Who?
This guy named Louis C.K. One of the most impeccable writers. Like, we talk about jokes.
Yeah, he got canceled?
Yes.
How did he get canceled?
He got canceled for doing inappropriate things while being on the phone with somebody. And then he would say, like, if he was on the phone with a woman, he would do something inappropriate. And then he'd be like, hey, I just did this. Just want to let you know. But he wouldn't say it until after the phone call.
Wow.
So that was during the cancel culture, and he got ate up. But shows are still sold out, so I wouldn't really call them canceled. But
Like, I like how they try to cancel that boy Dave Chappelle.
yeah, but his shows are
And
still.
they can't do it.
You can't cancel comedians because comedians is one thing I love about comedy. You can try to cancel a comedian. You can. You can maybe stop him from doing movies, but you won't stop people from coming to the shows. You can't stop it. It's impossible. People are. It's on comedians. No matter what they do, they can always make money. Always make money. So that's why I love it.
Okay. So, you say you leave. You say you leave next month. You said.
Yeah. I got a speeding ticket. I got some tickets in Atlanta.
Yeah,
So-
you better go pay them, man.
Yeah, so but my court, I can't pay them online. I have to pay them at court. So they moved my court date back to May the 10th. I was already supposed to be in LA, but it's like I'm not about to go to LA and then fly to Atlanta and then fly back to LA. So I just stay here, go to Atlanta, and then go to LA. So that's why it's so far back. But
Gotcha,
yeah.
man.
I'm also doing a show in May before I leave.
I'm gonna try to come check that out, bro. For real.
Yeah, come
I seen it.
through.
I seen it on Facebook.
That's a different one.
Oh, it's another one you got.
That's Saturday.
That's this Saturday. Okay.
This Saturday.
Okay.
I think the 25th. Depends on what times he posts this. But the other show would definitely be May 6th. May 6th. So, yeah. That's gonna be popping. You're definitely gonna want to make that one. It's gonna be kind of like a party / stand up. Like,
Where's it gonna be at?
I'm deciding the venues right now. I will post it. And I'm sure you'll share it for me.
Yeah, I got you.
And yeah, we can get that out there as soon as possible.
Hey man, but that's all we got time for today, man. I appreciate you, bro.
Thank you,
For
man.
coming on here.
Thank you.
Underdog of the World podcast, talking to me, man. We wish you the best with your venture in Cali, man. You know, keep putting the foot on the gas, bro. Keep pushing, don't stop,
For
bro.
sure.
All right, thank you, bro.